الجمهورية العربية السورية، وزارة التربية، الصف الثالث الثانوي الأدبي والعلمي English for Starters 12 Students Book. This record is covering the pages from 16 to 21. مبادرة كتابي بصوت نجلاء علي. Migration Unit 2 Model 1 World Issues. Grammar Talking about past events, revision of past perfect simple and continuous. Vocabulary Numbers, world, families. Reading Scanning for specific information, understanding reference words in a text. Listening for numbers, listening for conversations, listening to a woman talking about immigrating from England to Australia. Speaking, recalling an important event, writing an email about events. The pictures. The first picture. Residents of Agadir, Morocco, left their city after the earthquake of 1960. The second picture. Thousands of Irish people left Ireland in the 19th century to find a better life. The third photo. Many people immigrated to the Arabian Gulf after its economic success. Discuss. Number 1. Look at the photographs and discuss these questions. A. Why do large numbers of people leave their own country and go to live in a foreign country? 3 different reasons are illustrated in the photos. B. What other migrations like the ones shown in the photos do you know about? C. Why do you think many people choose not to migrate to another place? Guess. Number 2. Before you read the article on page 17, guess and match these words and phrases from A to F with their meanings. A. Success. B. Development. C. Deteriorate. D. Immigrate. E. Famine. F. Industry. 1. Economic activity concerned with the raw materials and manufactured goods. 2. A serious shortage of food leading to great hunger on a large scale. 3. A period of great wealth. 4. The process of modernization. 5. To leave your country to live in a new country. 6. To get worse. Read. 3. Read the article very quickly and match these headings with the correct parts A, P, and C. Economic success. Economic necessity. Natural disaster. Why do people leave their home countries? This article looks at 3 reasons why people immigrate and give historical examples. A blank space for the heading. In the early 19th century, the most important economic activity in Ireland was agriculture. But the farmers were poor and they used old-fashioned methods because they heard that they could earn 4 times as much abroad. Some farmers immigrated, but between 1820 and 1840, the economic situation in Ireland deteriorated, and in 1845, the potato famine began. Disease destroyed 75% of the year's potatoes, the main food for most of the population. During the next 2 years, 350,000 people died of starvation, and there was a huge increase in immigration. By the end of 1854, a quarter of the population of Ireland had left for other parts of the world. B. A blank space for the heading. Tristan da Cunha is a small island in the South Atlantic Ocean. In August 1961, Earth tremors started and gradually became more frequent. At the beginning of October, the government decided that the island was no longer safe and the whole population of 268 people was evacuated to a nearby island. A ship picked them up and took them to South Africa. As they passed Tristan da Cunha, they saw the volcano erupt. Later, the people were taken to England, where they stayed for the next 2 years. In 1963, the volcanic activity on the island stopped, and most of the people voted to go back. However, not everyone returned. 14 people had adapted to life in England and decided to stay there, and 5 elderly people had died. There were other changes too. 10 couples from the island had married, and 8 babies had been born. See a blank space for the heading. The economic success of the 1960s and 1970s saw the Arabian Gulf countries transformed into modern and wealthy states, funded by oil and other precious natural resources such as natural gas. The needs of the oil and construction industries lead to a huge demand for skilled workers. Many thousands of people moved to the region to help build high-tech cities all over the Gulf. These workers from many regions of the world were able to find a better life and help with the development of the region. Check your understanding. 4. Read the article again and decide whether these statements are true or false. A. In the 19th century, over 500,000 people died as a result of the potato famine. B. The people of Tristan da Cunha were immediately taken from their island to England. C. The people of Tristan da Cunha went home even though there was still volcanic activity. The Arabian Gulf countries experienced an economic success requiring large numbers of workers. 5. Find adjectives from the article that have the opposite meaning towards A to E. A. Teeny. B. Modern. C. Late. D. Young. E. Rare. 6. What do the words in bold in the text above refer to? A. They in line 3. B. Them in line 21. Think and speak. 7. Discuss these questions with other students. A. How do you imagine Irish people felt when they left Ireland for their new life abroad? B. Why do you think 14 people from Tristan da Cunha decided not to return to their island? Page 18. Vocabulary numbers. Number 1. Write the numbers in these extracts from the article as words. A. In the 19th century. B. 75% of the year's potatoes. E. 350,000 people. D. By the end of the 1854. E. In the 1961. F. 268 people. G. 1960 and 1970. Now check your answers to exercise 1 with a partner by reading the number of phrases aloud. 3. Answer these questions using numbers and words. A. What is twice 6,000? B. What is a quarter of 20,000? C. What is 50% of 2,000? D. What is 5 times 9? E. What is a third of 21? 4. Listen and write down the numbers you hear. Word families. 5. Complete these sentences with words derived from the words in brackets. You could check your answers in a dictionary. A. My weekly blank space are twice as much as they were last year. Between brackets, earn. B. A huge earthquake caused the blank space of Agadir, Morocco in 1960. Between brackets, destroy. 2. Blank space, potato crops lead to a mass starvation in Ireland. Between brackets, disaster. The blank space of the world's migrants moved to find a better life. Between brackets, measure. E. The people of Tristan da Cunha left because of volcanic blank space. Between brackets, act. F. The blank space success of the 1960s and 1970s was funded by oil. Between brackets, economy. G. These workers were able to find a better life and help with the blank space of the region. Between the brackets, develop. Pronunciation, using stress for emphasis. 6. We often stress particular words in sentences to give them emphasis or to correct what someone else has said. Listen to the conversations and write the words that are stressed in PS replies. A. No, they are from Ireland. B. No, they live in Syria. C. No, I live in Spain. D. No, but I've visited Ireland. E. No, it started in 1936. F. No, they crossed the border into France. 7. Listen to the conversation again and repeat PS replies. Make sure you stress the correct word. 8. Work in pairs. Make conversations based on these prompts. A. Are you from Egypt? B. Do you go to school? C. Are you studying chemistry? D. Do you like being a student? No. Syria? No. University? No. Physics? Love. 9. Now listen and repeat the sentences. Page 19. Grammar. Talking about past events, past perfect. Activity book grammar, file pages 83-84. Number 1. Choose the correct form of the verbs and sentences below. Then find the verbs in the article on page 17 and check your answers. A. By the end of 1854, about a quarter of the population of Ireland left or had left for other parts of the world. B. Not everyone returned or had returned. 14 people adopted or had adopted to life in London and decided to stay there. C. After 2 years, 5 elderly people died or had died. D. After 2 years, 8 babies were born or had been born. 2. Work with a partner. Discuss the difference in meaning between these pairs of sentences. A. 1. In 1854, a quarter of the population of Ireland immigrated abroad. 2. By 1854, a quarter of the population of Ireland had immigrated abroad. B. 1. Irish people immigrated because so many were dying of starvation. 2. Irish people immigrated because so many had died of starvation. C. 1. When they sailed past Tristan da Cunha, the volcano erupted. 2. When they sailed past Tristan da Cunha, the volcano had erupted. 3. Complete this short text with the correct form of the past simple or past perfect form of verbs in brackets. Sometimes both forms are possible. Note, you only need to use the past perfect to show which past action happened first. On February 29th, 1960, an earthquake, blank space, between the brackets, hit the Moroccan city of Agadir. Although it, 2, blank space, between the brackets, last only 15 seconds. It, 3, blank space, between the brackets, B, one of the most destructive earthquakes of the 20th century. One of the most destructive earthquakes of the 20th century. When the rescue team, 4, blank space, between the brackets, arrive, many areas of the city, 5, blank space, between the brackets, be destroyed completely and thousands of families, 6, blank space, between the brackets, become refugees. After the earthquake, the city, 7, blank space, between the brackets, be evacuate, and inhabitants, 8, blank space, between the brackets, move 3 kilometers south where the city, 9, blank space, between the brackets, be rebuilt. Later studies, 9, blank space, between the brackets, show that the disaster, 11, blank space, between the brackets, kill over 1/3 of population of Agadir, over 10,000 people, and 12, blank space, between the brackets, injure many more. 4, think of an explanation for these situations. Your explanation should include the words in brackets and a verb in the past perfect. A. James was very nervous when he arrived at the airport. Between the brackets, never fly before. He had never flown before. B. Rupa didn't feel very confident about taking her driving test. Between the brackets, fell twice. C. Salah didn't recognize his friend Hani. Between the brackets, not see 10 years. D. Firas found it difficult to get up this morning. Between the brackets, work late the night before. E. When Layla read the letter, she couldn't stop smiling. Between the brackets, pass exams. F. Samir couldn't contact his brother, Khaled. Between the brackets, switch phone off. Page 20. Speaking. Talking about important events in your life. Introduction. 1. You are going to hear a woman talking about immigrating from England to Australia. Look at the photographs of where she used to live and the place she moved to. Discuss these questions with a partner. A. How do you think the speaker felt when she heard that her family was moving to Australia? B. How different do you think she found life in Australia? Listening. 2. Listen and check the ideas you discussed with your partner in exercise 1. 3. Listen again. Fill in the table below with information about the speaker and her move abroad. Then check your answers with your partner. The table. Age when she left England. The second line, where she moved to and why. The third line, length of intended stay or actual stay. The fourth line, occupation. 4. Look at the incomplete mini dialogue below. Complete it with a partner. Use expressions that show agreement and disagreement. Also use expressions that give your opinion. A. What do you think are the advantages of moving abroad? B. Well, I think blank space. What about you? A. I believe blank space. B. Do you think there are no disadvantages? A. No, there are some blank space. B. Okay, I agree or disagree blank space. Page 21. Task. You are going to write an email to a friend about a significant event that changed your life. Writing an email. Number 1. You are going to talk about an event which changed your life in some way. A. Choose the event you are going to talk about. It could be a major change like the speaker's move to Australia or a more minor event. Examples. Your first day at school. Changing schools. An interesting journey. The first holiday you remember. B. Make a few notes in answer to these questions. Number 1. How old were you? Number 2. Where were you? Number 3. Who was involved? Number 4. What happened? Number 5. How did you feel? Number 6. What were the results of this change? Number 2. Now work in pairs. A. Take turns to tell your story, referring to your notes and using expressions from the useful language box below. B. Ask each other questions to find out more information. 3. You are going to write an email to a friend and tell him about the event you talked about in exercise 2. A. Using your notes from exercise 1, write a rough paragraph plan for your email. You should aim to write around 100 to 120 words. B. Briefly describe the event before telling your friend how you felt about it at the time and how you feel about it now. C. Use vocabulary from the unit. Make sure that your friend knows how you feel about what happened. Use the useful language box below to help you describe the event. Don't forget that emails are usually written informally. When you have finished writing, check your email carefully. A. Check spelling, grammar, and punctuation. B. Exchange emails with the person sitting next to you and make suggestions and comments. Useful language. Talking about past events. Then, one day, I was about to go into the garden to play football when 2 months, 10 minutes, 3 days later, the first thing that struck me was that was 6 years ago. Remembering a past event. I can remember it very clearly. I remember thinking, feeling, I will never forget that day, how I felt that day.